Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's Kiki, which is the news that Erika Jayne's disgraced husband, Tom Girardi, is facing up to 20 years in prison. So if he got sentenced today, he would be 103 by the time he had to get out. Yikes. And he has also been indicted on multiple fraud charges, along with his son in law and his ex CFO, Christopher Kamen. What could this mean for Erika? We did a very long deep dive live into this earlier today. I will link that down below in the show notes in case you want to go back and rewatch that. But this will give you more information and a little bit of the cliff notes of what's going on. But before we dive in, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And also check out our description box down below. We have a newsletter, a free self-love guide when you sign up for it. And we also have a lot of courses down there. And so check it out, check it out. And with that, let's dive right on in. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika Jayne's husband, Tom Girardi, faces up to 20 years in prison after indictment on fraud charges as son-in-law David Lyra and ex-CFO Christopher Kamen are also charged. The husband of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member Erika Jayne, Tom Girardi, and a couple former members of his now defunct law firm, Girardi Keese, have just been indicted on fraud charges. Months after the former chief financial officer of Girardi Keese, Christopher Kamen, was arrested on suspicion of wire fraud. Federal grand juries in 2 states have brought charges against ex-CFO as well as the disbarred attorney and his son-in-law, fellow lawyer David Lyra. Side note, I said this from the jump. When they arrested Christopher Kamen, who is the ex-CFO, Tom's right-hand man, that's when I said, you know what? They really are going to go after him. They really are. And Erika, girl, you should be shaking in your boots. You shouldn't be at Paris Fashion Week. You shouldn't be taking these Ozempic shots and getting extra skinny and weird. You shouldn't be preparing to film. You should be packing a bag, dyeing your hair, getting multiple passports, and getting the hell out of Dodge. Because you are going to be the next person to be indicted. I really hope so. I have a lot of conspiracy theories, but this one in my soul, I really hope comes true because Erika, you are evil as they come. As evil as they come. Let's keep going. On Wednesday, the Los Angeles Times confirmed prosecutors announced the charges in an indictment in Chicago, noting that the men had been charged with 8 counts of wire fraud and 4 counts of contempt of court after allegedly misappropriating in excess of $3 million in settlement funds meant for relatives of victims who died in a 2018 plane crash in Indonesia. In recent years, Thomas has been accused of embezzling more than $15 million from former clients to support his law firm costs and the luxurious lifestyle he shared with now estranged wife. Side note, I don't think they're estranged. I think that the whole he's been cheating on me, we're separating, blah, 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 that was nothing but a contingency plan and a way for them to try to give Erika cover in the situation. And also, Erika herself has admitted multiple times that she talks to Tom Girardi every single day. If you're talking to your husband every single day, that is not estranged. That is not estranged. Also, don't forget, Tom Girardi had his friend, James Wilkes, set up a bank account in Wells Fargo in Florida as a slush fund for Erika. She's received over $500,000 from that one account already. That's not estranged. They're still in cahoots. They are still in cahoots. I think they have multiple slush funds. I think they have a lot of offshore accounts. I think they have their money hidden in plain sight. What do I mean by that? With expensive artwork. Didn't he get her a $1 million painting for her birthday? With all of the expensive designer clothes, with the jewelry, with the bags, with the cars, with the houses. Like, Erika is not broke, and they're still using victims' money. But let's keep going. And as the report explained, a Los Angeles case claims Christopher and his boss devised, participated in, and executed a scheme to defraud victim clients for about 10 years, starting in 2010. Mr. Girardi and Mr. Kamen stand accused of engaging in a widespread scheme to steal from their clients and lie to them to cover up the fraud, Martin Estrada, an LA attorney, said in a statement. In doing so, they allegedly preyed on the very people who trusted and relied upon them the most, their clients. Actions like the ones alleged in the indictment bring disrepute upon the legal profession and will not be tolerated by my office. Meanwhile, in Chicago, attorney John R. Lausch Jr. commented on the alleged crimes of Thomas and David. Attorneys who violate the trust of their clients and breach a fiduciary duty that is paramount to the practice of law must be held accountable, he stated. Don't forget, a fiduciary duty means you are legally obligated to act in this person's best interest, not your best interest, not your wife's best interest, not your friend's best interest, but in this particular person's best interest, i.e., if you are a lawyer, you are legally bound to act in the best interest of your client. I think this also applies to maybe real estate as well. I'm not sure. They may have a fiduciary duty to act in the best interest of their clients. Financial advisors and stockbrokers and all of that stuff. I think sometimes you have to really make sure you read the fine print and you make sure that you are working with somebody who is a fiduciary. So that way they are legally bound to work in your best interest when it comes to your finances and your deals and your contracts. But let's keep going. As Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fans well know, Thomas is currently under a court-ordered conservatorship run by brother Robert Girardi, due to an Alzheimer's diagnosis he received in early 2021 and living in a memory care unit in Orange County. However, many have posed questions in regard to the legitimacy of the diagnosis, suggesting that the former attorney could be using the illness to get around looming legal consequences. I mean, duh. It doesn't take a brain scientist, a brain surgeon, to realize that Tom Girardi clearly is faking Alzheimer's and faking dementia because he does not want to, have to go to trial, have to be held accountable for the fraud. It's no coincidence that he's claiming dementia literally the same exact time that everything is hitting the fan. Of course he's faking it. Of course he is. Come on. I also heard that the federal judge is going to make sure that he has testing. Like they're like, you are competent to stand trial, so we're gonna have testing with it. I also heard that let me see if I can pull it up real quick. But I also heard that he's gonna be arraigned on February 6th. Okay? But while I look that up, let's keep going. All right, here we go. All right, where was I? Sorry, you guys, 1 second. Okay, I got it. As the LA Times explained, officials from the State Bar of California went to court with their suspicions. Finally, the State Bar of California is doing their frickin' job. The State Bar of California, they also need to be investigated. How do they let him run this scheme for over a decade with over 200 legitimate complaints of fraud and of misconduct? Like he was clearly paying these people off. Their heads need to roll just as much as he's did, because Tom Girardi could not operate in a vacuum. What I mean by that is he could not run these schemes. He could not, defraud his clients by himself. The only way his schemes works is if he is enabled to run them. If people look the other way, if people take the bribe money, if people take the payouts, if people operate from fear rather than from their own moral compass. That is the only way Tom Girardi runs this scheme, is if people allow him to. So the state of California, the the State Bar of California, they need to be held accountable. I live in California. I love my state, but we need to do better. We need to do better. But let's keep going. Claiming the development had occurred under, quote, highly unusual circumstances, noting that the evidence was sparse. According to ABC7, Tom's charges, 5 counts of wire fraud, carry a maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison. Although the official requested more testing be done to confirm the diagnosis, their request was dismissed. Wow. So they're really trying to get out of it. They're really, really trying to get out of it, but you're not going to get out of it, boo. You're not getting out of it. You have been indicted. Now, this is according to the Wrap. It says that the disgraced and disbarred attorney is slated for federal arraignment on February 6th. Tom Girardi, the famed Los Angeles lawyer and ex-spouse of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Erika Jayne, has been indicted for allegedly embezzling $15 million from his clients, the U.S. Department of Justice announced Wednesday. Side note, I know they're saying $15 million, which is pretty low for the millions and millions and millions and millions that he really truly has embezzled over the decades of the fraud scheme. But they're going to try him for what's the most solid case. Because if you get him for 20 years for this, you got him for 20 years for everything. You know what I mean? Girardi, whose once esteemed downtown Los Angeles law firm, Girardi Keese, shuddered after the discovery that he had misappropriated over $13 million in settlements, was charged with 5 counts of wire fraud and a charge that carries a statutory maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison. Let's see when he's going to go to the arraignment. Okay, it says Girardi, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, as we all know, they're going to check on that because, as we know, they think that he's lying, is under a court-ordered conservatorship, currently resides at the 24-care facility. He is slated for arraignment on February 6th at the United States District Court. All right, you guys, I want to know what you think. Do you think that this means that this is the last shoe to drop before they indict Erika Jayne? I think it is. I think this is the last shoe to drop before they indict Erika Jayne. And I'll tell you why. I think that Christopher Kamen has already turned state evidence. He's already flipped, which is why they were able to indict Tom Girardi and his son-in-law. And I think his son-in-law, David Lyra, is also going to turn state's evidence and flip. I think he's going to flip on Girardi. I think he's going to flip on Erika. And I think that the feds, they want their pound of flesh when it comes to Erika Jayne because she's been very disrespectful. She's been thumbing her nose at the law. She's been acting like she's above the law. She's acting like the rules don't apply to her. She's been extremely disrespectful when it comes to the victims. I don't give a damn about anybody but myself. She still continued to film even though everything happened. I think that they're going to look very, very poorly at that. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. Do you think it's only a matter of time before Erika is indicted herself? What do you think is going to happen at Girardi's arraignment? Do you think he's going to plea out? Do you think he's going to admit guilt and plea out? Or do you think this is actually going to go to trial? Put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. But before you do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And check out the description box down below. Join our newsletter. It is completely free. And check out our self-love and self-care content all the way down below. And we have some great courses. So that's you guys. I love you. Watch out for the scammers and the fraudsters and the schemers. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go!